Hello guys, how are you today? So today I will be solving the math periodic course practice for section 4.6 of geometry. And since we are allowed to use calculators, I will be using it for quizzes 4.6, 4.7 and 4.8. Algebra, I won't be using any calculators because they are not allowed. So we will just start with this quiz over here. So what is the value of k if secant squared x minus 22 tangent x plus 20 is equal to 0? Very simply, we know that whenever we are facing something like this, that everything has to be the same. It can be either all secant or all tangent or all sine or all cosine. Now here we are provided with what? We are provided with secant squared x and tangent. Which one can we change? Which one is easier to change? Is it possible to change the secant into tangent? So the secant squared, is it possible to change it into the tangent squared? Or is it possible to change the tangent into secant? Actually, it is possible, and the easiest way to change the secant squared x into the tangent squared x. So we know that secant squared x is equal to 1 plus tangent squared x. So very simply, instead of the secant squared x, we are going to replace it by 1 plus tangent squared x minus 22 tangent x plus 20 is equal to 0. Now add everything. Tangent squared x minus 22 tangent x plus 21 is equal to 0. Now we solve this by the product sum method. So we have a product over here of 21 and a sum of negative 22. Now what two numbers? You add them, they give you minus 22. You multiply them, they give you 21. Very simply, they are minus 21 and minus 1. So minus 21 times minus 1 gives us 21. And minus 21 plus minus 1 will give us minus 22. So it becomes x minus 21 and x minus 1. Solving it, you have to solve them equal to 0. So x is equal to 21 and x is equal to 1. Okay? Now, they gave us 1 as an answer, so very simply, our answer for k is going to be then 21. Moving on to question number 2. This is a very important question. We know we have secant, cosecant, and cotangent. And we also know that we have cosine, and sine, and tangent. We know that secant is equal to what? 1 over cosine. We also know that cosecant is 1 over sine. We also know that cotangent is 1 over tangent. Alright? So over here we have secant theta is equal to 2. And we know that secant is equal to what? 1 over cosine. So very simply, that means secant theta is equal to 2. Or in other terms, it is 1 over cosine theta is equal to 2. Now there are many ways you can solve this. You can solve this by doing cross multiplication. And if you did do cross multiplication, you are going to get that cosine squared is equal to 1 over 2. So actually you are going to get 2 cosine of theta, my bad, not squared, 2 cosine theta is equal to 1. Move 2 to the other side, so you will then get that cosine theta is equal to 1 over 2. Or, in a really simple way, you can just take this rule over here. So I'm just going to clear the screen. You are going to get 1 over cosine theta is equal to 2. Alright, and what we are going to do is we are going to take each one of the given, alright, and we are going to substitute it here. So, for example, if we are taking this one, we know to substitute the pi always by 180. So in this case, it's going to be minus 180 divided by 3 instead of the cosine. So on your calculator, you write 1 over cosine minus 180 divided by 3. So 1 over cosine minus 180 divided by 3. And you are going to get an answer of 2. So that means that definitely the first one is an answer. Alright, so if we apply for all of them, so let me just do for all of them, what we are going to do is we're going to do 1 over cosine of the angle given. So if we are going to do, for this one, the angle that we are going to put over here, it is going to be 180 over 3, because you substitute pi by 180. This one is 2 times 180 over 3. This one is 4 times 180 over 3. And this one is minus 4 times 180 over 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to put on our calculators 1 over cosine. And in the angle that is in the bracket of the cosine, we are going to put each of the following. So 180 divided by 3, it will give us an answer of 2. So this is correct. If we do, however, 2 times 180 divided by 3, we are going to get an answer of minus 2. So this is incorrect. If we do, however, 4 times 180 divided by 3, we're also going to get minus 2. So this is as well incorrect. And if we get and do minus 4 times 180, we as well are going to get negative 2, which is incorrect. So the only two correct answers are definitely going to be minus pi over 3, which is minus 180 over 3, and 180 over 3. Moving on to question number 3. This is another question that could come. So they told us that tangent of theta is equal to radical 3 over 3. Very simply, what we are going to do is we are going to take all of the answers, okay, and we are going to try them. Here in this one, we have 3 correct answers. So let us start one by one. This one is 180 divided by 3. This one is minus 5 times 180 divided by 6. My bad, this is not 3, this is 6. This is 5 times 180 divided by 6, and this is 7 times 180 divided by 6. And we know that tangent of the angle, which we are going to call x for now, is equal to radical 3 over 3. So what we are going to do on the calculator is we're going to do tangent, the angle we get here, and it should be equal to radical 3 over 3. So if we do tangent of 180 divided by 6, we are going to get radical 3 over 3. This is an answer. If we do tangent of minus 5 times 180 divided by 6, we are going to get radical 3 over 3. So this is an answer. If we do tangent of 5 times 180 divided by 6, we are going to get minus radical 3 over 3, which is not our answer, so we don't choose it. And if we do 7 times 180 divided by 6, the tangent of the answer, we are going to get radical 3 over 3. So this is going to be our answer. So far, we have 1, 2, 3 answers. Of course, if you want to continue, you can. So this is going to be minus 180 divided by 6. So tangent of minus 180 divided by 6, we are getting minus radical 3 over 3, which is not the answer we need. So very simply, these are our 3 correct answers. Moving on to question number 4. This time we are going to be doing it with sine. So sine of theta is equal to radical 3 over 2. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the options. These are the options over here. I'm just going to write above, we had sine theta is equal to radical 3 over 2. Then we are going to put all of the answers in the form of an angle. So this becomes minus 2 times 180 divided by 3. This becomes 7 times 180 divided by 3. This is minus 180 divided by 3. 180 divided by 3. And 2 times 180 divided by 3. Okay, so what we are going to do is on the calculator, we are going to do sine of the angle. And it has to be equal to radical 3 over 2. So sine, okay, minus 2 times 180 divided by 3. We are going to get an answer of minus radical 3 over 2, so we are not accepting this one. If we do, however, sine of 7 times 180 divided by 3, we are getting radical 3 over 2. So we are going to take this as an answer. If you do sine of minus 180 divided by 3, you are going to get minus radical 3 over 2. So we are not going to accept it. If you do, however, sine of 180 divided by 3, you are going to get radical 3 over 2. So we are accepting this answer. And then finally, if you do sine of 2 times 180 divided by 3, you are getting radical 3 over 2. So we are also accepting this answer. So the 3 correct answers are this one, and this one. Moving on to question number 5. Now we are doing it with cosine. So again, I'm just going to go down for a second. Cosine, I forgot, sorry, radical 3 over 2. So cosine of the angle x is equal to radical 3 over 2. On the calculator, what we are going to do is we are going to put cosine, the angle, and it has to be equal to radical 3 over 2. So very simply, on the calculator, we're going to put cosine 60. It is 1 over 2. We don't choose it. Cosine 160. It is minus 0.93. So we're not going to choose it. Cosine 30. It is radical 3 over 2. So we are going to choose cosine of 30. Cosine of 330. It is radical 3 over 2. So we are going to choose it. Cosine of negative 60. It is 1 over 2. We are not going to choose it. And then finally, cosine of minus 30. It is radical 3 over 2, so we are also gonna choose it. So we have 3 correct answers, which are 30, 330, and negative 30 degrees. Question number 6. Okay, they're telling us the equation cosine squared x plus 24 sine x minus 24 is equal to 0 is reduced to sine x is equal to 1 or sine x is equal to. Again, we said when we have this type of equation, everything has to be the same. All cosine, all sine, or all secant or all tangent. In this case, we have cosine squared x and sine x. Is it easier to change the cosine squared x to sine squared x or the sine x into cosine x? Definitely, it's easier to change the cosine squared x into sine x. So we write the equation, which is that cosine squared x is equal to 1 minus sine squared x. So, substituting 1 minus sine squared x plus 24 sine x minus 24. Then, adding, it's going to be minus sine squared x plus 24 sine x minus 23. Now, personally, I don't like to see a minus outside because now since it's equal to 0, okay, we can multiply both sides by what? By negative 1 to get rid of the minus. So it becomes sine squared x minus 24 sine x plus 23. Now we apply the product sum rule. What gives us a product of 23 and what gives us a sum of minus 24? Very simply, minus 23 times minus 1 is 23, and minus 23 minus 1 is minus 24. So the answers are x minus 23, x minus 1. If you solve it, x is equal to 23 and x is equal to 1. So since sine x is equal to 1 is given, definitely the other sine x is equal to 23. Okay, moving on to question number 7. Okay, here you have many different ways to do it. I'm just gonna discuss 2 ways. Okay, we have way number 1. The first way that we are gonna do for this is by drawing the triangle, a right triangle. So any right triangle, it does not matter which. Okay, we know that tangent of the angle x, let's say angle x is this angle. We know that tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. So this over here is adjacent and this over here is opposite. If you want to remember it, it is so ka toa. I know many of you do like some dirty jokes on this. Please do not. It's just something to help you memorize it. I'm really not finding it funny when you guys make some dirty jokes from it. So this is all for the sake of learning. Okay, if you want to memorize it, you can. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. So anyways, you memorize it by saying soka toa. Alright? So the sine is opposite over hypotenuse. The cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and the tangent is what? Is the opposite over the adjacent. Now we're looking for tangent of x. We know tangent of x is opposite over adjacent. And here in this case, it is 20 over 21. Now, of course, we don't put minus because the side cannot be a negative number. So it is 20, which is the opposite, and the adjacent is then 21. Now you can apply Pythagorean theorem. So 21 squared plus 20 squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. So 21 squared plus 20 squared is going to be 841. So radical 841 is going to give us then 29. So the hypotenuse is then 29. Now, pay attention here. They said x is obtuse. What does obtuse mean? If we draw this graph over here, if you remember, all students try cheating. Everything positive, sine only positive, tangent only positive, and cosine only positive. If we are talking in the counterclockwise direction, so this is going to be 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360 degrees. Obtuse is anything that is between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, okay? So that means that the only thing that is going to be positive is the sine. So we have our triangle over here, and we knew that this is obtuse, and we drew it, and that means the only thing that's going to be positive is sine. That is why tangent is negative. So I'm gonna write on the side, we need to find sine. Okay, sine of x. We know sine is what? Opposite over hypotenuse. I'm just gonna write hypotenuse over here. So it's gonna be 20 over 29. And that's very simple. That's how you find sine x. Now, if you want to find cosine x, we know it's gonna be, first of all, negative because it's not in the quadrant of sine. Cosine is not sine, so it's gonna be negative. We know that cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so it's gonna be minus 21 over 29. Now, this is the first way to do it. Okay, I'm gonna do the second way now. The second way, or way number 2, is to go on the calculator. You do tan inverse, or in some calculators it is shift, then after the shift it's tangent. So shift tangent, you will get tan inverse. And then you put what is given over here, minus 20 over 21. So minus 20 over 21, you put it on the calculator, you are gonna get minus 43.6 degrees. Okay? What we are going to do now is we are going to take this angle and we are going to do sine of this angle. No need to take it estimated, by the way. Take it exactly as it is given on the calculator. You can do then sine and you can put answer. So sine of the answer, and you are going to get minus 20 over 29. But here, again, we are going to draw the quadrants. All students try cheating. They said it is obtuse, so it's between 90 and 180. So it is in the sine. So only sine is gonna be positive. So here it is gonna be a positive sign. So it's gonna be plus 20 over 29. Okay? And then finally, remember the answer that you got, which is minus 43.6. If you want to get it again, you can do shift tangent of minus 20 over 21. Okay? Now finally, for the cosine, you are gonna do cosine of the answer. And it is gonna give us 21 over 29. But because drawing it and it is obtuse, okay, it is in the only sign positive, that means we are gonna give it a negative sign. Now, I prefer to always do the first way because it's the better way. It is the more accurate way. The second way, of course, you can do it, but you have to draw the quadrant, you have to be very accurate. Okay, so definitely, we are gonna take that sine x is 20 over 29, and so definitely it is minus 21 over 29. I prefer again using the triangle method. It's the best way in my opinion. Of course, you can use the calculator if you want the second way, but in my opinion, please use the first way. Okay, now here this is very interesting. Given that cosine squared x is equal to 0.04, which of the following must be true? We know that cosine squared x is equal to 1 minus sine squared x, and sine squared x is equal to 1 minus cosine squared x. And tangent squared x is equal to what? It is equal to sine squared x over cosine squared x. Okay, so here we have cosine squared x. They need us to find sine squared x and tangent squared x. Sine squared x is equal to what? It is 1 minus cosine squared x, which is 0.04. So 1 minus 0.04, it is gonna be 0.96. Now for the tangent squared x, it is what? It's equal to the sine squared x, which is 0.96, divided by the cosine squared x, which is 0.04. So 0.96 divided by 0.04, we are gonna get 24. So tangent squared x is 24 and sine squared x is 0.96. So let's submit and hopefully there are no mistakes. And thank God there are no mistakes. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day and see you in the next video.